How do you tell the story of multiple sclerosis? How do you tell the story of a disease that affects more than 400,000 people, millions of family members and friends, and thousands of researchers and physicians? How do you put a face on a disease that affects each person living with it so differently?
With MS, there are times when you're just not going to be able to do things. You're going to have to ask for help. You know, I can't swim alone. My dad gets in the pool with me to swim, and we work out and we go back and forth. And if he couldn't go, I couldn't go. It's really difficult to ask for help.
We have a choice to either be defined by the things that test us or to triumph over them. And every day is a different battle, and MS in particular is an unpredictable battle. But we don't want to be defined by what ails us. We want to be defined by what's good about us.
FaceOfMS.org is an online video community that offers everyone touched by multiple sclerosis the opportunity to share their experiences and to hear the experiences of others. And by doing so, we begin to put a face on multiple sclerosis.
Some of the things that I've done to maximize my life with MS is to continue to stay physically active. I don't make a lot of excuses for what I can't do because, you know, the reality is the world's not going to make a lot of excuses for me.
And at first I balked, and I was like, I don't want to have a needle. And now I could care less. It's like nothing. It didn't even come into my mind. I mean, you know, I take my kid to school in the morning, I do my shot before I walk out the door. It's not any more of a thought than a glass of orange juice.
Everybody says try not to focus on it, but at the same time it's really hard not to. Because I'm in high school, you know, so I'm a sophomore in high school, and I see people every day just going around, and at the same time it's always in the back of my mind that I have it, but it's not bad anymore. Like, I don't have to be embarrassed about it anymore.
My friends and family, we've done experiments where we've tried to simulate some of the symptoms of MS because that really helped us create a better dialogue and understanding of what it's like to be in my shoes. Even if they can take it off, you know, at the end of the experiment, at least they can kind of grasp what it's like to be me for even just, you know, 10 minutes.
I guess the question that everybody asks is, when are we going to cure the disease? Or why haven't we cured the disease? And I think that the answer is that in a way we are curing the disease now. There are people who are being treated, who are being helped, and whose disease is not progressing. The other types of cure that the MS Society is working towards, and we're all working towards, is a regenerative type of medicine to help people who have disability. A person who has a disease thinks, well, will it be next year? Things don't happen that quickly, but they will happen.
I found that when I've spoken for the society, one thing rings true each time I speak to patients with the disease. So many people come up to me afterwards and they say, you know, Dr. DeJoe, thank you for being so honest. It's so nice to know a physician who has this. And they say it in a way that essentially says, well, my goodness, if a doctor has it, it's okay if I do too.
I have a very good friend who's in her 70s, who's been battling cancer for years. And because she has her own physical problems, I felt comfortable sharing mine with hers. So around Christmas time, I was at her house, and I was telling her I didn't know how much longer I could hide it. It was getting harder and harder to hide it. And as I was talking, I could tell her she was getting angry. And I finally said, "What are you upset about?" And she said, "Because you can do something about it." And it struck me right then that weakness wasn't in my body, it's in my silence. And by not doing anything to raise awareness about MS, by not doing anything to raise money for research, I was doing nothing to help find a cure.
The story of multiple sclerosis can only be told by those closest to it. Share your story. Hear the stories of others. Come face to face with multiple sclerosis. Visit faceofms.org.